Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Melina feels so good today and she wants you guys to be into this video so much. So she decided in this video she is going to talk about beachwear, alright? Now some of you are thinking, oh no, beachwear, what am I going to do? I don't wear beachwear. I don't like going to the beach. I'm self-conscious. I don't like being, dressed in something that shows my body or makes me look fat or whatever, right? But really, we all want to go to the beach. And even if you're not the most attractive person, I'm serious, like, if you're not, if you don't look, even if you don't feel you look good at all, I'm talking about the worst looking person in the world should be able to go to the beach in a bikini, in a Speedo, as a guy. They should totally be able to do all that, right? Like, what's the beach for, right? You should not feel like you're stuck at home and you're crying all the time because you don't feel good or you're overweight and you know if you never go out. And I mean, the thing is, obviously some people might be struggling with it. Maybe they're overweight and it's a serious problem, but you got to start living for yourself. You can't be self-conscious about how you're perceived, right? Maybe not just going to the beach, or maybe you don't like to leave the house because you're self-conscious, right? But you should feel good about yourself, even if you're 500 pounds. Obviously being 500 pounds is detrimental to your health, but you should not be sitting at home thinking, I can't go out. Like no one should see me like this. I really believe that if you are someone, anyone, you should not be shy. You should not be uncomfortable. I mean, I'm very lucky. I look very good, so for me, I'm not shy at all, really. But I mean, even if you're not the most good-looking person, maybe you've been through a major accident or whatever, and your mind is sharp, but your look is tainted. But you should feel good about yourself. You should not hide. You should not feel uncomfortable. It's not something that you should feel like, oh, what am I doing here? Life is not worth living. You should feel good about yourself. People will gravitate towards you. You'll find people that like you for who you are. That's important, right? Like, you should not be feeling like you're the only one. And trust me, there are people that are caring, that are so sweet, that would not give you a blink. They would not even blink an eye or bat an eye at you. They'd be very nice. Now I know how some people can be very cruel, of course, but you can't pay attention to those people, and especially if it's just being overweight slightly. I mean, if let's say you're 250 pounds, let's say, and you're a girl, you should not be like, oh, I can't go out, I'm so struggling, I don't want people to look at me. You should feel like you're allowed to go out, you can wear whatever you want, you should feel comfortable, right? Because because the more you feel comfortable, the more you go out, the more you lose weight, and the more you feel good, and then you're not self-conscious and stressing over it. The more you lose weight and you look really good, right? But if you're hiding at home and struggling at home, then you're not ever gonna branch out and be like, this is me, I'm so happy. You're always gonna be moping and sad. It's sad. You don't want to be that way, right? So it's important to allow yourself to feel beautiful even when you're not, and trust me, it will pay off, right? Maybe take dancing lessons or do something fun, right? Because if you start taking dancing lessons, or you start maybe doing a lot more walking, when you go out for a walk, let's say you're 300 pounds or even 400 pounds, and let's say you're able to go for walks and comfortably enough, and if you're 400 pounds, you just you go for walks. Eventually, you go for lots of walks, but you start with something small, just to walk around your block or whatever, and then you could, and then nobody's around really. If you're just doing a block around your neighborhood, no one's gonna see you really. I mean, if you want to be seen, that's one thing, but if you're shy or whatever, that's one thing. But you can walk around and do a walk around the block, and then eventually you do more walking and more walking, and eventually you'll look good. Now, I mean, for me, I've never been judgmental, really. I mean, I've been, I'm more annoyed with people that are annoying, more so than people that are overweight or people that are judgmental, because I'm more annoyed with people that are judgmental and annoying than people that are overweight or self-conscious, because people that are overweight or self-conscious never say anything mean because they're so self-conscious, right? But I mean, but for the most part, I'm not really annoyed with anyone really. But I mean, but when you see someone, and people will make fun of people that are like that. So unfortunately, it does happen. But you have to live your life for yourself, and you will get better. Trust me, it will take time. Sometimes it takes a long time, but at least you got to get out and be happy, right? Like some people really just stay at home all day and just mope around the house and are really depressed, and they're alone, right? So how's that for living? You know, you can't live that way, right? That's just not a way to live, right? So they're struggling, they're having a hard time. You know, for the most part, you got to get out there and live life, right? Like you're not gonna, you're not gonna want to be forced to be alone forever. I mean, at least if you look good and you've lost weight and you maybe you're alone, but you're getting closer to finding someone. I mean, not being seriously overweight doesn't mean you're gonna be alone. Some people have a lot of friends that are overweight, that are seriously overweight, but I'm just saying, like, if you're the type of person that shies away from everything and you're uncomfortable and you just don't know what to do around people, you know, it's time you branch out and do things for yourself and be happy, right? Like, it's important, right? You don't want to be stuck in a world where you're just like every day is a struggle and you're unhappy and you don't feel good. And you know, I've got diet and exercising tips on my channel. That's what it's there for, right? My diet and exercise tips are very difficult to do for some people, but like if you are someone that's seriously overweight, I mean, I saw one video. There was one video how the person said they didn't eat for 7 days and they transformed, right? Like, even though you're thinking the person's not eating, they've got enough stored fat that they're actually able to lose weight and look amazing. Like it really does work, you know. So, and you know, you're thinking to yourself, well, that person's starving themselves, but no. I mean, I don't recommend not eating anything, you know, but having maybe one small meal a day. And this person literally said, if you don't eat for 7 days, you're gonna lose weight. So, you know, it's true. It's really true. Like I've done that before, where I haven't eaten much of anything in one day, and you know, you lose a lot of weight and you look really good. So I mean, you know, it's kind of like, well, you know, it's kind of like, well, if you're really overweight and you don't eat for a week, you're thinking that's terrible. Like, how are you going to survive? But it actually, you've got enough stored fat that you actually can do that, and you're okay. You can actually look really good after that. You actually look a lot better. And so, you know, and of course, it's easier said than done. But it's not like you have to not eat anything, but really, the calorie counting. If you burn more than you eat in a day, then you're going to lose weight, right? But if you eat more than you burn, and you don't do much of anything and you're overweight, then you're not going to lose any weight, right? Sometimes you have to start off by not eating very much at all to lose weight, because you are at a point where you're just consuming too much and you're not doing much of anything. So that at that point you have to say, well, I have to do something, right? But I mean, you know, that's sort of like where I stand on that. And I mean, you know, it may seem unhealthy, it might seem very unhealthy, but trust me, like, you get a lot more energy out of it and you're a lot happier because you look good. But just think of it for a minute, right? Like, if you're used to eating, let's say 15 meals in a day, and they're you know, they're bigger, they're not super small, they're big enough that they're considered a lot. So, you know, you have 15 of those in a day and you have nothing in a day. Well, the 15 meals that you had a day, every day for the last year, let's say, it's going to keep you at a certain weight, but if you have nothing for the next 7 days, trust me, you will really transform. Maybe even just look for that video. It's a 7-day video where you lose weight because you're not eating for 7 days. All right, check it out. I didn't actually watch the video, but I'm thinking that's what it is, because I've done that before where I haven't eaten in a day, and trust me, you look a lot better. Like, it's not, and I'm not throwing up my food at all. I never do anything unhealthy, right? I mean, you're not throwing up your food. You're not, because you ruin your teeth and people can tell when you're throwing up your food. You're just not eating in a day. Let's say you ate a lot the day before, or you're looking, and trust me, like, you'll be able to tell if it's detrimental. If you look really skinny, then yes, it's bad. But if you're looking really good, or you lost weight, then it's good, right? It's totally different from anorexia or bulimia. It's totally different because you look amazing and you're healthier. You're healthier because you're dieting to help you lose weight from a weight that you were, like, a lot bigger from. So that's why you are like that. It's not because you're, you know, trying to be like a malnourished, you know, skinny model, you know. I'm trying to say, like, watch the video. It's a 7-day challenge, I think it was called, or 7-day diet, and where you don't eat anything. And it's a video on YouTube. I didn't see it, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what it was about, because I've done that before, where I haven't eaten in a day, and I thought for sure, like, that was bad for you, right? Like, And now that I'm thin, I don't, I eat every day. But I mean, when I was bigger, I did lose weight by not eating in a day. And you know, you think it's going to be unhealthy. You think there's no way you're going to do well not eating in a day. But trust me, it's like amazing. You feel really, really good. You're like actually thin. Like it's amazing. Like if I if I ate a lot of meals recently and I'm bigger and then all of a sudden I don't eat for like 5 hours, I'll be really thin. So, or maybe 7 hours, let's say, but I do eat, right? So you know that's the kind of that's to look this good. You have to do things like that, right? But it's not unhealthy because you're not throwing up your food, and you're eating nutritious meals when you do eat, but you're just choosing to eat less. It's called what I'm doing now is called what's it called again? Imminent fasting, or no, what's it called? Something fasting. It's like a word. Sounds like imminent, but I'm not sure what it is. Intermittent, yeah, intermittent fasting. That's what it's called. So when you have a certain weight that you're happy with, you eat certain times, and then when you want to lose weight, or you have to do something like perform or whatever, you don't eat before that, right? That's intermittent fasting. That's what I do right now. But when I was overweight, I was 200 pounds before. So when I was overweight, there were days that I would not eat anything. That's fasting. Um, so, like I said, you're thinking to yourself, how are you going to do that? But if I've done that and done well, you know, it's true that you can do that. I mean, and the thing that about that is people don't know because they don't think it's possible, right? They think if I don't eat for a day, that's starving myself and that's not healthy. But trust me, you feel a lot better when you're a lot stronger when you're thinner and you can do a lot more stuff. Like it's really amazing. So, you know, don't think of it as, oh, Marco and Melina are telling me to starve. And I mean, if you're anorexic, it's a very serious thing, and stuff like that. But trust me, like, and that's how I looked this good, right? Because when I was 200 pounds, there were days I didn't eat. Like, I mean, the recommendation for having 7 days in a row without eating, that video is just talking about when you're really overweight and you have a lot of stored fat. But if you're like thin, you're not gonna. No, if I didn't eat for 7 days now, I'd be anorexic. I'd be too thin, right? So I mean, I would never do that now. But I mean, you know, and I never did 7 days without eating. I think the most I would do is 1 day without eating, or 2 days at most. But I mean, I never did 7 days because I was always thin enough that it was okay to eat a meal between. But yeah, so anyway, that's my tip for you guys. Totally enjoy looking like me when you get there. All right, thank you for watching. All right, bye.